everyone, and I am Jake, and here is Jake's Games podcast. I'm here with a special guest, John from J&M Productions. John, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We are going to talk about the latest James Bond film, James Bond: No Time to Die, with special star Daniel Craig and a huge co-stars of actors and actresses in that movie. Just your thoughts. What did you think of the movie?
So this is actually my first big James Bond movie I've ever seen, because I've actually never really watched the past ones. I've seen a couple of the older ones that were made, but I've never seen any ones with Daniel. And I just don't know why. You know, we've had the DVDs for them, and I just never thought of watching them. But this was one that I was like, you know what? I think it's time to see, because I knew it was going to be his last film for the actor. So I figured, why not? And I absolutely loved it. All the action scenes, they went all out. My favorite, it has to be the scene in Italy with the car chase. That was just phenomenal. But overall, the storyline, and it's almost a situation where it works for me, because you don't need to watch the other movies. You could just watch from this. You might be a little confused on what's happening in the beginning and whatnot, but overall, you could just watch this without watching the other ones. You know?
This movie was outstanding. I have to say, the chase scenes, the act, just everything, just enough dialogue, just enough action when it needs to be. And I have to say that, yes, you don't really need to watch the other ones, but it actually works because it's like a mini series from the other ones, like Casino Royale from 2006. It kicks it off. You know, Daniel Craig kicks off in the casino. He kicks off. It's great. And then you move on to Quantum of Solace in 2008, Skyfall 2012, and then Spectre 2015. So everything flows. It all flows to this lasting ending film. And to get back to the car chase scene, it was great. I thought it was perfect. It was long. It was he finally used gadgets. He actually finally used, because in the previous films he never used gadgets. It was his own fist. It was his own stunts and everything. And they used soda for the sidewalks and the roads so that he'd be able to drift into those scenes.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good. But before we continue, I'd like a word from our sponsor, Callaway. Here is our sponsor, Callaway, to promote their golf club. Thank you and welcome back. I am Jonathan. Glad you are still here with us. I want to ask you about Daniel Craig. I know this is the only film you've seen of him, but what did you think of Daniel Craig?
Honestly, he was just amazing. You could tell that, and it actually does feel like it was his last movie, obviously, because of what happens in the ending. But overall, you could just tell that this guy's been through a lot, and you could seriously tell from that, and just overall the way he acted, he put his heart and soul into it, 100%. And probably because he was getting paid a lot of money to do this too, because he originally wasn't going to do it. He did not want to do it, and the production was like, "Well, here's some money," and he was like, "Okay, I'll do it."
Yeah,
but
why not?
But overall, he just did an amazing job, and so did all the other actors too, especially the villain. Just wow, I thought it was almost like a horror movie in the beginning. Seriously, because it was just so daunting. This little child's running away, and here's this guy just in this creepy kid's mask or whatever, just following the kid, and just I don't know, it was very creepy.
I'd have to agree with you. I think Daniel Craig, and I think my mom would agree with you too, that Daniel Craig is the best James Bond, and she's loved all of them, but she says Daniel Craig is the best. I think he's the most accurate, because in real life, I don't think you get gadgets and exploding pens and stuff like that. This was the most real.
So you would say in the first couple movies he was in, it was more, that's realistic.
Oh yes, very realistic.
Because this one with the mini guns and whatnot.
I don't think there's already mini guns, but I have to say it's just a really cool scene. Everything. The whole movie itself was just really fantastic. Everything about it was just genuine, and I do want to ask you, how come you haven't seen any of the other films? Just no interest, or you just haven't got around to it?
So I've always had the options to see it. There's DVDs there, and they've been out in the theaters, and I've been asked to go, but I don't know. I just said, no, I'm good. Maybe next time. I don't know. I just never had an interest for it. But now that I've seen this, I do want to go back and watch all the other ones, then watch No Time to Die again, of course.
Because, all the other movies, they're great. They're made in '62. That's been around for 60 years, and it's 24 films, made amazing amount of money.
Is there
Huge
one that
money.
you don't like with Daniel in it?
I have to. That's a good question. I like that. I'd have to say Quantum of Solace because it's the weakest one. It's not as long, but it still goes with the story, like
Right.
all the movies. And I like how they did that with Daniel Craig. Back to what I said earlier, it's its own series. Because in the olden days, 60s, 70s, 80s, it was like a different villain and different plot in its own different movie. But with Daniel Craig, it was a completely series. It followed. There was a story behind it, which made it even more exciting and more.
It just
thrilling
kept
to see.
building it up
Yeah.
more and more and more.
Exactly. And even with the older films, Goldfinger, it's 1964 with Sean Connery, all those movies are fantastic. So I would recommend movies to watch, but the list is a little long and I don't think we don't
Yeah.
have time for that.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you being here. I'm so glad you saw the movie. I'm so glad you enjoyed Daniel Craig, and I would really want you to watch some of the older movies and be a James Bond fan.
Yeah, no,
Fan of the
absolutely. I
franchise.
will definitely watch the other ones. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, for being here. If you don't know already, please follow Jonathan at J&M Productions with his own podcast. And please stay tuned for more for my podcast, Jake's Game Podcast. Jonathan, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jason.